Carol Ann is a graduate from both Memorial and Dalhousie Universities, and she recently graduated with her ICDD designation from the Institute of Corporate Directors. Welcome, Carol Ann.
Thanks, Sherry. Hi, everybody. So my first job is to call the meeting to order. And we will do that now. I'd like to introduce the board and the executive. So along with myself on this board, we have Deborah Uden as our vice chair, Amanda McCallum is a director, Michelle Farrell, director, Madeline Whalen, director, Jennifer Roach is a director, and Barbara Bragg, director. Our treasurer, Monica Martin, and a new director, Nancy Wicks. Finishing up this year, which is a wonderful few years that these ladies have put in, is Julie Gorman and Karen Hocko. My next job would be to make sure that we approve the agenda. So I'm looking for motion to approve the agenda. Thank you, Julie, for the motion. And a seconder. Excellent, thank you, Michelle. So second, all in favor, against? We're ready to move on to the minutes. I'd like to ask all of our directors for a motion to approve the minutes from our 2019 AGM, and use the chat function again, please. Thank you, Michelle, and looking for a second. Perfect, thank you very much. Deborah, excellent, thank you so much. All right, now it's my pleasure to be able to deliver a board report for, to outline the activities that the board has done this year. So we'll wait for this slide to change. So our vision is Newfoundland and Labrador women are enabled and empowered to achieve successful careers in advanced technology and skilled trades. And our mission, which we have worked on as well, is WRDC provides expertise, research, and services in these three areas. So STEM-based career exploration, education, outreach for female youth, career development for females, and professional services for employers. So we did a lot of work on the strategic framework this year and set it out for the new path now for the 2019 to 2022. So through lots of passionate discussions and lots of hard work, we came up with 4 objectives: diversify funding and revenue streams, including federal government, philanthropic foundations, as well as social enterprise. So that's an area that we're ready to explore. Objective 2, increase and diversify industry partners for STEM activities. Partnership means and collaboration means a lot to WRDC, and we'll be putting a lot of effort into that. Objective 3, develop a strategy to address challenges experienced by underemployed females. And Sherry may address this later, but this is a very exciting piece of research that the board decided that this is definitely warrants to be done. And objective 4, refresh and reimagine the WRDC strategic communications and marketing to increase awareness and influence with stakeholders, and identifying who those stakeholders will be. So we delivered on a lot of different things this year. Sherry and I attended community development training program with the Social Enterprise Institute, which was really quite interesting. We have new partners this year for 2019-20 for STEM for Girls, including ICTC, which is new to WRDC, which is great. So we're bringing new partners and new supporters in. The Newfoundland and Labrador Association for Technology and Innovation, NATI, and the professional engineers and geoscientists. So with these organizations and working with them, it really helps with our mandate. And we partner with the Social Research Demonstration Corporation, which is a fantastic organization based throughout Canada, working on research for underemployed women, which we have, through conversations with them, discovered that this is kind of cutting edge research, and we're really happy to be at the forefront of that. Our board practices strong governance all the time. So we did a strategic planning session January 2020 on the night before Stormageddon. So that's where we all were while everybody else was at the grocery stores buying potato chips. But we all got home safely. Programs and services have been reviewed to ensure that they're aligned with the objectives and the vision. We conducted an overall board evaluation and individual directors evaluations, as well as a 360 leadership evaluation for our CEO, Sherry. Implemented a treasurer position on the executive committee, and we welcome Monica and her skill sets to that role. And created and implemented a new board planning and accountability tool. So that was a joint effort with a couple of folks for sure, and really appreciate that. And it really, really helps the board move forward to make sure that we know what we're doing. So I can change the slide. So some of the challenges, we're consistently challenged to meet the demand for services and supports. We have, a small but powerful staff, and there's not enough time in the day, but we are continually using the resources that we have that are to the best that we possibly can do. So looking for ways to new ways to fund the organization is always a challenge. And so, and that's with every organization, and it's no different with ours. But we are going to make sure that we do everything that we can to develop those new funding relationships, partner relationships, and really discover the new ways of earned revenue potential that we have there. So 2019, 2020 brought new challenges regarding public health requirements, shifted the balance, obviously, that the team worked remotely from home. The board didn't miss a beat, and we worked from home as well, and continued on with our board meetings. I have to give a shout out to the staff and to Sherry and her management team that, it was a challenge for everybody, and they did a great job of pulling together. And sometimes, from what I've heard, is that even some staff are even closer together now than they were before, and certainly the remote staff. So that's great. So we had a very productive year. We continue to be proactive and continue to be collaborative. And we are now working on a detailed action plan that will see our strategic objectives and goals come to life. The other priorities include risk oversight. So the board has been doing some professional development and working out what's important and what's risk and how to manage risk from a board point of view. And ongoing review of financial policies and practices, which is always good governance practice with any board. We developed a restricted board fund as recommended by our auditor, and good board practices as well. And of course, the implementation of a full strategic plan based on the framework. So as you can see, as a board who meets every 2 months, we've really dove in and did a lot of work. So this board, while we are a governance board and we practice good governance, we also get the job done. So I want to thank all the board for all of your input and all of your hard work to get where we are today, which leads us up to March 2020. So much has happened since then, but that will be for another day. And now I would like to introduce Sherry. Well, she's introduced herself already, and she's going to highlight the activities that were in support, of course, of the strategic plan and our outlook for the 2019-2020 year. So over to you, Sherry.
Thank you, Carol-Ann. So for almost 25 years, WRDC has been changing the culture of work in industries and sectors that have historically been inaccessible and unwelcoming for women. Our success is a testament to the commitment and compassion of our partner agencies, our financial supporters, our volunteers, our board of directors, and our staff. I cannot overstate the impact they have had on the lives of thousands of girls and women, their families, their workplaces, their communities, and our province. And I cannot thank them enough. WRDC has been a key partner for advancing gender equity in workplaces and on work sites for over 20 years. Our team of experts have worked with thousands of female youth, women, educators, and employers across all sectors and industries. We are helping develop a local diverse skilled workforce to meet the needs of our province, and we're supporting industry in their efforts to create and maintain respectful and inclusive workplaces. With private and public funding, WRDC offers a variety of programs and services to address challenges surrounding the attraction, recruitment, retention, and advancement of women in these sectors. The accomplishments outlined in this year's report have continued to move us forward on our journey to gender equality and systemic change. Hundreds of girls had the opportunity to participate in our STEM for Girls programs. Career development services were provided for women throughout the province. Thousands of employees received training and participated in climate surveys. Research projects provided evidence of what is working, and employers received the support they needed to elevate their diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies. So while I encourage you to refer to our annual report for additional information on our work, it is my absolute pleasure to highlight some of our organization's activities and achievements for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. So we delivered Coding with Rosie to 65 girls in grades 4 to 6, and Gusto with 30 girls from 2 schools who learned about skilled trades and built their own lamps. We partnered with Husky Energy and CNA's Buren campus to deliver tech tours to 45 girls in a local junior high school. And we delivered Techsploration Newfoundland from January to May 2019 with 61 girls and 9 teachers from 6 different schools. In this year's program, the girls learned about trades and STEM-related careers from 57 female role models. Since 2018, close to 1,000 girls have participated in our STEM for Girls programs. In addition to our established STEM for Girls programs, WRDC also delivered several customized events with some of our partners. In June, WRDC partnered with Elevate Aviation to host an event in Happy Valley Goose Bay to encourage more females to pursue careers in aviation. Over 80 women and girls toured the air traffic control tower and hangar and heard from female pilots, dispatch crew, plane engineers, and air traffic controllers. In September, we partnered with the Petty Harbor Mini Aquarium to celebrate Science Literacy Week with 15 grade 7 to 9 girls from St. Kevin's Junior High. For International Women's Day, WRDC partnered with the Newfoundland and Labrador Association of Technology and Innovation, or NATI, or as they've recently rebranded as TechNL, to host a Women in Tech panel. 4 female role models shared their experiences working in the tech sector with 52 students in grades 6 to 8 at Villanova Junior High School. And we continue to offer resources, training, and support for educators and community program coordinators through our NSERC funded project. Keep your eyes peeled. We will have some new stuff coming out in the coming months with some new programs and resources in that area. Taking the time to build trusting, collaborative, and effective relationships with women, Indigenous groups, and community organizations is vitally important. Our career practitioners conducted 589 separate career development sessions with 222 women throughout the province. Since 2016, WRDC has worked directly with almost 1,000 women. Using a client-centered approach, we have supported women who face some of the largest barriers in our province. In this 12-month reporting period, 24 of our clients graduated from a post-secondary training program and 63 were employed. During this fiscal year, 56 women participated in 4 orientation to trades and technology programs delivered at College of the North Atlantic campuses, in addition to hundreds of information sessions and meetings with various stakeholders, including employers, education institutions, and community groups. WRDC also partners with industry to deliver 6 regional employment information sessions with 130 women. We are committed to the delivery of career services following the Canadian standards and guidelines for career development. This year, we are very proud to announce that one member of our career services team received the professional designation of Certified Career Development Practitioner, and the rest of our team are also close to completing the required components. Our workplace diversity and inclusion specialists delivered 10 inclusive human resource strategy information sessions and presentations to over 500 professionals. We completed workplace diversity assessments and provided customized strategies and recommendations for 17 separate employers. In addition to our other EDI training, we developed and delivered 35 customized Creating a Respectful Workplace workshops with almost 500 participants, representing 50 different employers. Since 2016, almost 2,000 participants have completed this customized training alone. The research team completed analysis and reporting for our Women and Gender Equality Canada project. Data collected through a literature review, online membership survey, and key informant interviews was used to create a needs assessment that will be used by our project partner, Trades NL, and the steering committee to develop a strategic and sustainable action plan for equity and inclusion for women in construction trades. They also completed analysis on data collected using an online survey to evaluate the short and long-term impact of our career development programs and services. Stay tuned for a report on our findings from this research in the near future. This year, our researchers led the design and implementation of our employee climate surveys with almost 1,400 workers throughout the province. And since 2015, WRDC has worked with 18 separate employers to deliver over 3,000 climate surveys. These surveys have been delivered on oil rigs, mining sites, construction sites, and in offices all over the province. And none of this could happen without our team of highly skilled, dedicated, and passionate women. On the screen in front of you and next to me, I'd like to introduce Kim Melvin, who is our Chief Operating Officer, who keeps everything running smoothly and keeps all our resources in place and ready for use for all of our team. We have Tracy Rideout Fitzpatrick, who looks after our research and evaluation activities. Jennifer Cheeks is the manager of our career services and is located in our satellite office in the Central Region. Jen O'Quinn is our administrative assistant. Melissa O'Coin, our marketing and media specialist, who helps out with our communications, marketing, and media needs for all of our projects and all of our work. Lisa Birmingham, one of our 2 diversity and inclusion specialists who do the assessments and deliver all the training. Erin Hogan, our other diversity and inclusion specialist who works with employers. Demi Gibson is one of our research consultants. Judy Voisey is our career and employment specialist in the Labrador region. Bobby Jo Mager is a career and employment specialist in the Western region. Lisa Rostenberg, a career and employment specialist in the Avalon region. Kathy French is a career and employment specialist for our youth programs. And Trina Porter is a program coordinator of our STEM for Girls programs. I am absolutely honored to work with and learn from this team of amazing professionals each and every day. While the year ended with some unforeseen challenges brought about by a global pandemic, as well as public health guidelines that would impact every aspect of our work, I have to say that our board and our staff really stepped up to support the people and organizations that we work with each and every day. And I'm extremely proud to be a part of that group. I am sincerely grateful to our board of directors for providing the strategic direction, oversight, and governance needed for success. A special and heartfelt thank you this year to our outgoing chair, Carol Ann Harding, for her extensive contribution through multiple terms of service on the board, the executive committee, and as chair. While we have much to celebrate this year, there is still so much work to do. I feel like I say this every year. In 2020 and 2021, WRDC will continue to work with all stakeholders to transform the environment for women in trades and technology. It really does take a community to create the level of systemic change that we seek. If we continue to work together, collaborate, share ideas and resources, I truly believe that we can get there. So now I would like to introduce Deborah Feltham, who is a principal with Feltham and Associates, to present the 2019-2020 financial statements. Deborah, if I could ask you to unmute.
Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here today and to present the financial statements subsequent to the audit that we have completed for both the Women in Resource Development Corporation and the Educational Resource Center. I'm going to start off, I guess, with, well, the Women in Resource Development, Inc. So we'll start with that. And Kim has the balance sheet and everything up for me. I do believe that the participants all have a copy of the actual audited statement, so we don't have all of them in here, but just some highlights that I'd like to kind of bring to your attention and point out as I talk about these financial statements. So the cash position of the organization is up approximately $246,000 this year over the prior year. This is largely due to the final payments for EAS, LMP, CP, and LWIC, and the wage program. As with the arrival of the pandemic, I think there were a lot of government supports and agencies that were very committed to making sure that organizations such as yours really did receive what they needed to, and that the work could continue and that there would not be interruptions. So with that in mind, several of the funders opted to pay out the funding contracts early, and you'll see that reflected both in the increase, like I said, of approximately $250,000 in the cash and also in the receivables as well, which were higher subsequent to the billings that were done for the contracts. The receivables were up again, approximately $227,000. This relates to approximately $340,000 from one organization, that's the Advanced Education Skills and Labor, and pretty much all of that was collected by the end of April. In addition to another $62,000 that came from the Wage and Gender Equity Program, all collected by the end of April. The prepaid expenses were up this year somewhat, $5,800 to that. That is largely related actually to how the timing of the payroll happened, and that the payroll ended up being paid out prior to the last day of the year, but actually covered to a couple of days after that. So normally that would be in an accrued liability position, but based on the just payment dates, that's the largest change in that balance there. The HST receivable is up approximately $20,000. That really relates to 2 years worth of HSTs being outstanding. They are in process. They have been filed, so they are in normal keeping, and we have certainly confirmed that with Kim as we were going through the process. The accounts payable is also up. That's largely related to $100,000 actually payable to the College of North Atlantic. And that's related to some of the funding that I believe the organization was actually looking for several years. So it's all done, concluded. And as of the end of May, the College of North Atlantic was paid in full. The deferred revenue will be a reflection, as you can see, that is up approximately $421,000, and that's a reflection of where the cash and the receivables are up on the top part. So basically the concept here is that the cash and the receivables were up based on the billings going out for the contracts, but because the money hadn't all been spent on the programs yet, a good lion's share of that was put to the deferred revenue. So you'll see the substantial increase there in the deferred revenue. So they really do correlate together in terms of the cash, the receivables, and that deferred revenue position. Moving on to the statement of revenues and expenditures, just a couple of things there that I really wanted to highlight. For the most part, this obviously is a little more variable than in some organizations because it really does ebb and flow with the activities of the specific programs that are running. So some years will be up more than others based on the volume of work that gets completed in a specific program. Advertising promotions down approximately 6.8 thousand. That's just basically, again, related to some projects and some decreased advertising activity in 2020 over 2019. Computer expenses are also down $5,900, and that's related to an additional software that was purchased for a research project in 2019 that obviously did not recur in 2020. Conferences and meeting expenses were down $6,000 roughly in 2020, and that's based on less conferences attended by the organization. The education and training for OTT was up based on OTT deliveries in 2019 that were delayed, and so they were concluded then in 2020. There were 2 deliveries in 2020. Any unused money there was deferred unto 2021. Equipment purchase was also down $9,660, and that relates to a new server and the associated equipment that was purchased in the prior year. Other items of significant note, at office and administration also down $11,500 roughly for additional materials. And again, that relates just to project expenses that were required for 2019 that were not used in 2020. Salaries and benefits were up in 2020 over 2019 by $63,000. And that is based on the first year with an administrative assistant role, as well as the turnover costs for 2 other new roles. And last but not least, the travel was down about $5,500, and that's just basically related to the decreased travel in February and March as things kind of went on a dead stop in the middle of March. That is pretty much everything that I have to say about WRDC. So now I can turn off to ERC. Just give me one sec. And ERC seemed to have been a little less impacted on terms of timing with the year end being that Texploration is usually offered in May. So it wasn't in the process of being completed in the fiscal year. It actually did go ahead in this fiscal year, 2019-2020, because it was in May of 2019. So it's a little less impacted on the financial statement. You'll see a little more movement, I'm sure, on that next year. That being said, cash is down, up about $3,600. Receivables are down about $6,100. Basically, overall, the net change in the current assets is about $5,000 down. So from the 231 to the 226, about $5,000 down. And in the liability section, it's up about 1.3 thousand from the 165, up from the 164 in the preceding period. And that's again just related to timing differences and basically anything that is not spent in keeping with the fund policy for your accounting. Anything that's not spent on the programs that has been specifically delineated for a program is set up as a deferred. So we do have the deferred revenue notes in both of the statements, and so you can compare those, of course, as well. Switching off to the statement of revenue and expenditures for ERC. Really the big things there to highlight, like I said, a little less significancies there, although a couple things I'll point out. So the professional fees, which are comprised of external facilitators required for HR, professional development, and organizational activities, they are down from the previous year by $2,900. The public relations and promotions is basically different by $20,950, so down from the preceding year, as the marketing promotion required to build into the project budgets was different. Salaries and benefits, just a small change there. Staffing fluctuations to match the project budgets. And scholarships was something that was new. So that's the Newfoundland Hydro Scholarships for Women. That was in 2020 and not in 2019. And other than that, the travel, that was down by $4,891, which was associated with project deliveries as budget, less travel required in 2020. So that is the sum of the changes. And that's my sum up of the financial statements.
And of course, it's my time and the dog starts to bark. And then Deborah, you had sirens in the background. So thank you very much, everybody. I know exactly what time it is. The kids are walking up the street from school, but that's okay. So thank you very much for that. We worked hard. Thank you to Sherry and Kim and Monica. And it was a really nice, seamless transition through reporting and reviewing the financial statements. So I want to thank you for that. Feltham & Associates had just finished their 3rd year as auditor, and they have another 2 years left to go. So it's a 5-year appointment, and then we will look for a new auditor. We'll put out a new EOI at that time. So my last message is outgoing chair of the board. So it's a bit bittersweet, and it's been a long time. So after hearing the stats that Sherry, the statistics that Sherry shared with us, I mean, it's no wonder we love to do what we do when we volunteer and we believe in WRDC. So I was trying to very quickly add up all the numbers, and I couldn't keep up trying to add up all the numbers of the people and the businesses that we do affect. But when you hear the personal stories, and when you, speak with people like Kathy Dutton, who is online, I believe today, then, she's got the history and she knows how important this is to women and girls. And Kathy certainly has her own story with her own daughter, who's an engineer, and I have 3 daughters of my own. So it's rather important. So just want to take a quick, a little read through my last message as outgoing chair. So did we rise to the challenge this year? We sure did. It was a challenging but really rewarding year. With a dedicated board of directors supported by Sherry and her entire team, the 2019-2020 fiscal year was incredibly productive. The board created and implemented new board planning and accountability tools. So some of this I've mentioned already, created a strategic plan and reviewed programs and services. And we conducted overall evaluations, which are a very important thing to do. So we feel that evaluation, you need to measure, right, what you do. We also have reinstated the treasurer's position, which to an executive committee, which is fantastic. So I'm happy to say that our board members are well engaged on the issues and opportunities and are all collaborative decision makers, which is really what I wanted to bring to this board, is that everybody adds value and collaboration is really fundamental. Individual board members bring not only superb skills, but passion to the organization and ensuring that WRDC remains well governed and positioned for the future. With the addition of the new treasurer, our executive committee is now complete, and we have incredible relevant skills to be even more effective to help Sherry and her team. I just wanted to say thank you again to Julie. I know she's on here today. So thank you for the time that you've put in over your term, and your skill set has been most appreciated. And as well with Karen Hocko with her skill set. Karen moved on in April, but I just wanted to send a heartfelt thank you from me to you. One other personal heartfelt thank you before I end it off, because I figure it's better to put it in the middle and not be teary-eyed at the end, is a thank you to all of the board. And it was challenging, but incredibly rewarding. Wasn't supposed to do this. So thanks for your passion and your friendship. And it means a lot. Okay, regroup. All right, Amanda, take note. This is tough stuff. So we're excited to bring a new strategic plan to life. And Sherry and her team will guide the whole organization through that. And I know Sherry in particular guides that staff with such respect. And she knows what to do to get it done. So the new example of a creative relationship is with SRDC. And I think that the outcome of that is going to be really beneficial to a lot of women across, not just our province, but all through our borders, all of Canada's borders. So we're on to something big here, and I think that's really good. So as a governance board, we spent much time this past year strategically thinking about the future and where to sit and where do we go and where do we fit in the ecosystem and how do we develop those relationships with the tech organizations. And we've done it and we continue to do that. We ended up the year with the beginning of COVID, which hit us all with a bang, and it made Stormageddon look like a birthday party in comparison to what has happened since March. The team at WRDC and maneuvered through the unknown with precision, as well as the board. Work at all levels continued to be collaborative, thoughtful, inclusive, and forward-thinking, and the individuals' needs were met, and the work continued. And I wanted to thank all the staff for that. And I know it's not easy, and I appreciate everything and all the patience and the effort that everybody put in. So this coming year, we'll be focused on building partner engagement. So what does that look like? Who are our stakeholders? What does it mean? And really making sure that we do the best that we can do. Rolling out the strategic plan and guiding WRDC through the new economic environment in which we work. And it's different. It's not necessarily better or worse, but it's really different. And we have to have sort of a big talk with ourselves to say, you know, is this ever going to be the same? And it may not be. However, this will look, be assured that we will service the women and girls and industry as we need to. And my printer out of the blue started to run. So thank you for your support this past year. Without your belief in WRDC and what we do, we would not be able to execute all the good work we do. We're making a difference together, and we are happy to share in the celebration with everybody because it takes a village. And let's continue the conversation and how we can engage and add value. And I still have a year left on the board, and I'm still 100% committed to the work and to everything that I can add value as much as I can. So as I hand the reins over to Amanda, you're in good hands. And Amanda, you got Deb, and Deb rocks. And you got Monica, and she's already proven herself. So please, Monica, stick around. And everybody else on the board. You've added so much to my life and so much to the board and the organization and to Sherry. So now it's my pleasure, and I'm like happy tears here. I'm going to hand it over to Amanda, and it's my pleasure to introduce your new chair, Amanda.
Thank you, Carol-Ann. You're going to be a very hard act to follow for sure. For the coming 2020-2021 year, I am really pleased to step into the chair's role and to certainly follow Carol-Ann in this position. Carol-Ann has obviously led the board through a very challenging year and certainly was able to apply her considerable experience to serve WRDC's board superbly, and certainly her very own unique and eloquent style. So on behalf of the board of directors, it is my absolute pleasure to thank Carol-Ann for her expertise, for her dedication and her perseverance. And we're certainly honored and delighted that you're going to be sticking around for another year to work with all of us. But as AGMs change like the tides each year, it becomes an occasion of renewal. It's a time to reflect on the past year and to look ahead as we continue to embrace our challenges ahead. And this year certainly has required everyone to pivot, to be much more resilient, and to be innovative thinkers. It has required our staff to think outside the box and to find new ways to deliver programs and services. And everyone has certainly done so without missing a beat. WRDC's staff has proven more than capable of continuing and extending the reach and the reputation of this organization. The WRDC of today is a very different organization from the one I joined in 2017. And this year, as Carol Ann mentioned, as well as Sherry, the board has established high-level priorities as a part of developing a new strategic framework. And this new strategic direction will bode well for this organization in the coming year ahead. We're ready for the challenges within the ranks of the board and as well as the staff ranks. So I guess as my first official role as your incoming chair, I want to thank our fellow board of directors. I want to thank the entire management team, Sherry and Kim, to the entire staff, and to all of our stakeholders, our numerous volunteers who contribute to our programs and services. Thank you for being such an important part of this program and as well as our journey going forward. WRDC is underpinned by its vision to enable and empower Newfoundland and Labrador women to achieve successful careers in advanced technology and skilled trades. We encourage and invite all of our stakeholders to engage with us as we strive to raise our game yet again. Let us continue to work together to accrue on our tremendous strengths and to leverage those opportunities on which we can build robust benefits for women in trades and technology in this province. I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and this certainly concludes our 2019-2020 AGM, and I officially adjourn this meeting. I'm going to pass things back to Sherry just for the final word. Sherry?
So Kim, I'll get you to just stop the presentation or stop the screen sharing and bring our board back up on the screen for everyone to see. Thank you to the board of directors. Thank you, Carol Ann. I've said it once, I'm not gonna keep going on it. Thank you so much for all you've done. Heartfelt thanks to the staff for everything that they've accomplished in their dedication day after day in the work that they do. I'd also like to thank everyone for attending today. I see I've been taking a quick look here. I guess we've covered things off fairly well since I don't see any questions in the function below. However, if anyone who's in attendance would like to talk with us, would like to chat about opportunities, is interested in learning more about what we do, see opportunities for collaboration or partnerships, or you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me, to reach out to the organization. I am a huge believer in collaboration and partnerships, and the more we share our resources and our ideas and you know, our work, the more effective we will be and the better we'll be able to accomplish our goals. So once again, thank you to everyone for attending today's meeting. We wish you all a great day, and stay connected with us on our social media channels. Hook on or take a look on our website. Put your name in to be on our contact list so we can be sure to let you know about many of the upcoming exciting events and initiatives that we see happening or that we're planning for in the coming months and in the upcoming year. So thank you all again and have a great day.